The Biden administration continues to deny the president knew or was involved in his son's business dealings.
The White House is also sending a letter to news executives this morning, urging media outlets to, quote, ramp up its scrutiny of House Republicans for opening an impeachment inquiry based on lies. Republicans would need 218 votes to move forward and to pass an impeachment resolution before it would be sent to the Senate for a vote. So let's bring in Congressman Jim Jordan, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, who is confident that he has the votes. Is that right?
I think if it comes to a vote, if that's what the speaker wants, I think we can get the votes, but you don't need that to move forward. There's all kinds of evidence that warrants moving to this phase of our constitutional duty to do oversight of the executive branch. But I think there are four key facts, four central facts that are at the heart of this issue. The first is Hunter Biden was put on the Burisma board. Second, he was put on that board with no qualifications. Third, Burisma asked him, can you weigh in with D.C. to relieve the pressure we're under from the prosecution, from the prosecutor here in Ukraine? And fourth, Joe Biden did just that. He leveraged our tax money to get the prosecutor fired. And that fourth fact is validation of what the confidential human source said in the 1023 form. So that is what is central to this case. And then you got all the other facts surrounding it, the emails, the dinners, the phone calls, the meetings, the 5,000 times he used the pseudonym and all that stuff. But those four central facts are really what this is about. And that's why the speaker has said we're moving to this phase of our constitutional duty to do oversight of the executive branch.
But what changes? What more power do you have right now? I'm just reading Andy McCarthy's column, and he says the only thing that changes is the name of the inquiry. You guys were still moving ahead. Do you have more power?
Well, if the Speaker of the House, second in line of the president, says we're in an impeachment inquiry phase, I think that means something. I think it will certainly mean something to courts when we get into the inevitable game that's going to play out here, where we want certain documents, we want certain witnesses to be deposed, and the administration says, no, they're going to drag their feet on that. So when that happens, I think that gives added weight to it. And then if we go to a vote, which we're not precluding from happening at all, the Speaker's not said that. If we go to a vote, I think that it gives even more weight to it. But that's the significance, I think, of what the Speaker announced yesterday.
Mr. Chairman, what things can you do that you couldn't do before, now with an inquiry determined?
Well, I think it ramps up the pace at which we're going to try to get information from the executive branch. And then again, if we end up in court, as is typically the case with these kind of things, I think that helps our position in the courts when we're making our argument.
So Democrats are saying, the White House is saying this is extreme politics at its worst. They're saying that Republicans haven't turned up any evidence of wrongdoing. You just went through a lot of the evidence already. Here's what some of the well, I think this is just a clip of John Fetterman making fun of all this, making it all a big joke. Watch this.
Oh, my God, really? Oh, my gosh. It's devastating. Ooh, don't do it. Please don't do it.
What's your reaction?
I mean, it's John Fetterman. I don't know that it's worth reacting to what he says. What I know is the facts are, I think, overwhelming for moving into this stage of an investigation. Again, you can just 10% for the big guy. Everyone's confirmed that is Joe Biden. 50% for Pops. That other email, the brand, Devon Archer, a business partner of Hunter Biden, in the deposition under oath said the brand they were selling, the brand was Joe Biden, and on it goes with the facts. The White House's position has changed multiple times. Multiple family members in the Biden family getting paid millions of dollars that went into 20 different companies. So you can go through all the facts, but the four central facts are the one dealing with Burisma. And here's the irony. That is the very thing they went after President Trump for. They went after President Trump for something that wasn't accurate. They said he held up money and got Ukraine to do certain things. Ukraine didn't do anything, and they got the money. But they impeached President Trump for that. Joe Biden leveraged American tax dollars to get certain actions from Ukraine. That's the big irony here. He actually did what they impeached President Trump for. So those four central facts are really what's at issue here. Right. And that's what we're going to dig into even more.
So I understand because he was concerned about China, he changed his email to a pseudo email. And then you found out and asked the National Archives for about 5,000 separate emails under that name, many of which had CC'd to Hunter. Yeah. How close are you to getting those 5,000 emails?
This may be something we have to go to court on, too, and I think this phase of the inquiry helps with that if we need to go that route. The President Obama has to give some kind of approval on this. It's at the National Archives right now. So Chairman Comer has asked for those. We hope we get those soon. We may have to go to court. And again, if we go to court, I think the fact that the speaker's announced that we're in this phase will help us in those proceedings.
It sounds like, well, you're moving forward with an impeachment inquiry, but no vote yet. What's your message to skeptical members of the Republican Party right now? It sounds like there are a few holdouts. You're going to have a meeting today behind closed doors with the speaker. How do you message to them about why this is important?
You lay out the facts. This has always been driven by the facts, by the evidence, and by our duty under the Constitution. So you just lay out the facts. I think the more our members of the House of Representatives, not just Republicans, but all members, I think the more they get abreast of the facts, I think they will say, oh, wow, I see why we need to be in this phase of our oversight duty.
What are you suspecting is illegal here that he did? Are you suspecting that he voted for certain policies and pushed certain policies in exchange for money?
He told Ukraine, if you don't fire the prosecutor, you're not getting the money.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they accused President Trump of doing, which he didn't do, and they impeached him over that. He did it, and he did it.
Right.
Remember, December 4th, 2015, Devin Archer, Hunter Biden are meeting with the head of Burisma, Mr. Zolochevsky, and they called D.C. Now, Devin Archer says, I stepped away. I don't know who they talked to in D.C. Come on. They called D.C., and then 5 days later, the vice president of the United States, the current president of the United States, goes to Ukraine and starts the process into getting the prosecutor fired.
And he bragged about it on camera.
Bragged about it on camera, but leverages the money of the people I get the privilege of representing in the 4th District of Ohio to make that happen, which directly benefited his son. That's the heart of this issue, those 4 central facts.
So I talked to Shokin. He's the prosecutor that was fired.
I watched it.
And he said he was investigating Burisma. He did think that Hunter and Archer were up to no good. He did say that Joe Biden made Poroshenko fire him. And then tomorrow, I'm going to talk to Poroshenko and see if I can verify that story.
Yep. No, I watched the interview. I think it's important. And understand at the time, our government's policy, that was a turnaround, a quick turnaround of what the State Department and the Obama administration's policy was towards Ukraine. And Joe Biden decides to change it 5 days after D.C. gets a call, according to Devin Archer, under oath, his deposition, gets a call from Hunter Biden and Mr. Zolochevsky.
Mr. Chairman, real quick, what does this look like in process now that an inquiry's been determined or declared? What happens?
Well, I think, again, as I said, I think we ramp up.
Okay.
Mr. Comer, I think, ramps up
In existing committees. There's not a new committee formed or anything like that?
No. Right now, it's existing committees. Oversight has the lead. Chairman Comer's been doing great work. We'll do all we can. But we haven't even got into, I think there's one other key element here, and that is how the Department of Justice, how they dealt with in this unbelievably unorthodox manner, how they dealt with the Hunter Biden investigation. And we've been talking to, we deposed a couple of FBI agents here in the last few days. And the things we've learned there, I think, were really important. So we haven't even got into that and the whole how David Weiss handled this thing. I think that'll be important as well. And we're going to continue to dig into that.
What about Eric Sherwin? He was the money guy. Are you going to bring him in? Are you going to bring Bob Alinsky back?
I think those are all witnesses that will at some point probably come in and testify, but that'll be driven largely by Mr. Comer right now in the Oversight Committee.
Based on what you've seen, I know you've seen a lot more than what we know about. Is this an impeachable offense?
Again, I never want to get ahead of things. I want to do our job, and our job is get the facts, get the evidence. But I think those, as I've said now a couple times, those 4 central facts, I think, show what's at stake here, what happened here. And to me, that's where it's, and you've got all these supporting facts around that. But those 4 central facts, I think, are the key and where we really need to focus in on.
All right, 61% of the country believe the president was involved in his son's business dealings. 42% already believe it was illegal. And that is CNN's poll. So the message is getting through.
Well, the White House is sending letters to the press telling them to ramp up scrutiny and say this is all based on a lie.
Yeah, the press has got to get in their corner for a change.
Remember, this is the same White House who tried to censor, who were just found by the 5th District Court, federal court, that they were censoring American speech. So it doesn't surprise me that they're writing media outlets and telling them what to do. That's been their mode of operation.
Yeah, they're hoping
since
they get to control them again one more time.
Yeah.
Let's go to the well. Chairman Jim Jordan, thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.